Imagine this, you've just arrived at your Airbnb, a quaint little cottage nestled in the woods. But as you step inside, something feels off. You've been traveling all day, the excitement of your vacation bringing a lightness to your weary feet. The pictures promised a picturesque getaway, a rustic retreat away from the hustle and bustle of your everyday life. As you approach, the charming exterior, bathed in the soft glow of the setting sun, seems to whisper a warm welcome. But the moment you cross the threshold, the air grows heavy. You brush it off as fatigue, the long journey finally catching up to you. You're here to relax after all, and you won't let a little unease ruin your holiday. You begin to unpack, taking in the peculiar decor. Odd trinkets clutter the shelves, each piece more bizarre than the last. A collection of porcelain dolls with blank staring eyes. An antique mirror that casts strange reflections. A painting of the cottage itself, but eerily devoid of any signs of life. The decor seems to tell a tale, one that sends a shiver down your spine. Then there's the silence. An uncomfortable, deafening silence that seems to swallow up your every sound. You chalk it up to the isolation, the absence of the city's constant hum, yet the quiet is unnatural, too still. It's as if the cottage is holding its breath, waiting. And then, there's the feeling of being watched. It's subtle at first, a prickling sensation at the back of your neck, but as the evening creeps in, the sensation grows stronger. A nagging feeling that you're not alone, that something or someone is watching your every move. You try to shake off the unease, to laugh it off as an overactive imagination. Yet deep down, the fear takes root. The quaint little cottage no longer seems so welcoming. But you're here now, miles away from anyone else in this strange, unsettling place. Little did they know their vacation was about to turn into a living nightmare. And as the evening drew in, the guests decided to do a quick sweep of the house. What they found sent chills down their spine. In the living room, nestled between the dusty books on the shelf, was a small, unassuming object. It was a camera, expertly hidden and carefully angled to cover the entire room. Its silent, unblinking eye had been watching, recording every moment, every movement. The shock was immediate, and the feeling of violation intense. The guest was not alone. They were in a fishbowl, their privacy stripped bare under the watchful eye of an unseen observer. The thought of it was chilling. It was like a scene straight out of a horror movie, only this was real. This was happening to them. In the bedroom, the situation was the same. Another camera, this time hidden behind the mirror. An invasion of their most private space, a violation of trust that was hard to comprehend. The feeling of fear was palpable, a cold dread that settled in their bones. Without wasting a moment, the guests dialed the police. Their voice trembled as they relayed the discovery, the violation, the fear. They were advised to leave the property immediately, to find somewhere safe while the police conducted an investigation. The authorities arrived swiftly, their presence a stark contrast to the otherwise peaceful night. They moved through the Airbnb, collecting evidence, documenting the scene. The seriousness of the situation was clear in their focused faces, the clipped tones of their conversation. The guest watched from a distance, their heart pounding in their chest. The reality of what had happened was sinking in. They had been watched, their privacy invaded, their trust shattered. They were victims in a nightmare they never saw coming. And yet, the horror didn't end there. As the police continued their investigation, they unearthed more disturbing secrets about the Airbnb. Secrets that would send the guest spiraling deeper into the realm of fear and disbelief. They had been watched, but the horror didn't end there. In our next story, a group of friends rented a charming townhouse for a weekend getaway. They were specifically told not to go into the basement, but curiosity got the best of them. You see, the allure of the forbidden is a powerful thing. It was a chilly Saturday evening when the group, huddled together in the cozy living room, began to discuss the locked basement. Whispers turned into debates, and debates into a unanimous decision. They were going to explore the off-limits area. The thrill of the unknown was just too enticing to resist. Armed with a sense of adventure, they managed to pick the lock. The old wooden door creaked open to reveal a steep, narrow staircase leading into the darkness below. They descended, their flashlights piercing the gloom, revealing a scene that sent chills down their spines. It was not the typical basement filled with forgotten memorabilia or dusty furniture. No, this was something far more sinister. Chains, rusted with age yet still sturdy, were bolted to the walls. Unusual tools, their purpose unclear yet undeniably disturbing, lay scattered on a grimy table. The air was thick with a sense of dread, the walls seemed to echo with silent screams. The realization dawned on them like a cold shower. This house, their weekend getaway, may have been used for purposes far darker than they could have ever imagined. The laughter and camaraderie from earlier that evening now seemed like a distant memory. What was meant to be a fun-filled vacation had turned into a chilling encounter with the house's macabre past. The basement, once a source of intrigue, had become a chilling testament to the horrors that humans are capable of. In our final story, a solo traveler booked a private room in a shared house. The host was strangely absent, but his presence was felt in the most chilling ways. Our traveler, let's call him Ben, arrived at dusk. He noted the quiet, almost eerie stillness of the house. Things, however, soon started to take an unsettling turn. Ben would leave his room to explore the city, only to return and find his belongings slightly moved, a book misplaced or a chair askew. The house seemed to breathe a life of its own, with strange sounds echoing through the empty hallways, a creaking floor, a soft whisper, a distant thud. At first, Ben chalked it up to a faulty memory or the house's old bones settling. But as the days passed, these occurrences became less easy to dismiss. His keys would vanish from the table, only to reappear in his suitcase. The lights would flicker off when he was in the shower, leaving him in chilling darkness. One night, Ben woke up to the sound of footsteps above his room, a slow, dragging sound that set his heart racing. He was alone in the house, or so he had thought. The realization that he was not, in fact, alone was as chilling as the unseen presence itself. The unseen host gave no sign of physical existence, yet its presence was unmistakable. It was in the cold spots Ben would walk through, in the whispers he'd hear in the still of the night, in the shadows that seemed to move just at the edge of his vision. Ben's stay became a test of courage. Each day, the line between reality and his mounting fear blurred, the unseen host playing tricks on his mind. The knowledge that he was sharing the house with an entity he could not see was a terrifying experience that left him sleepless and on edge. They were sharing the house with a ghostly presence, a host they never saw but will never forget. In the world of Airbnb, these stories serve as a chilling reminder that not all stays are as pleasant as they seem. The unsettling welcome, the hidden camera, the locked basement, the unseen host, all these elements paint a picture of an eerie reality that exists beneath the surface of homely hospitality. Let's take a moment to revisit the first story. We heard about an unsuspecting traveler who received a less than warm welcome. The home was deserted and the only company was the chill of the unexplained. The shadows danced with secrets, the walls echoed with silent whispers, and the whole experience turned from a simple stay into an unsettling encounter. Then, we moved on to the tale of the hidden camera. An invasion of privacy that sent shivers down our spines. The realization that every move was being watched, every moment scrutinized. It was a horrifying ordeal that no one should ever have to endure. The feeling of being spied on, in a place you'd rented as a refuge, is a terror that lingers long after the stay. Next, we delved into the mystery of the locked basement. The unknown is often more terrifying than any concrete horror, and this story was a testament to that. The forbidden, the concealed, the locked away, it all added to the spine-chilling suspense that made this story so unsettling. And finally, the unseen host. The chilling presence that made itself known without ever being seen. The eerie encounters and the inexplicable happenings that made the stay a haunting memory. The host might have been unseen, but their presence was deeply felt. These are not just stories, they are experiences that real people had to endure. They serve as a stark reminder of the unknown horrors that could lurk in the corners of the most inviting homes. These are real stories, real experiences. Next time you book an Airbnb, remember you might just be signing up for more than you bargained for.